Block, so let's go.
Musical as you may know. So we'll keep it just for a bit, as we do have words that kind of fit. If you can, make a better one, send it in, and that'll be fun, because we'll use it, get everyone laughing, because this one is embarrassing. TJ, I thought you could dance at this bit.
No.
TJ, are you dancing?
No, I'm not.
So come along and watch us code, make some stuff, and help you know that not much rhymes with draft will make game for a laugh.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday. It is the 24th of June, and it is hot, hot, hot. And I am wearing a lovely, what is it, a shirt? It's a shirt. That's what they call it. They call it a shirt. So I'm just going to move some items around to get myself ready for some coding. So TJ isn't with us today because he is poorly, and I've retired TJ the Tiger because he's a puppet, and not that I'm prejudiced against puppets. He just was useless at his job and didn't provide any wisdom or any insights like the real TJ. But we're sending our care to TJ, and we hope he gets well soon. So we're making a game in ClickTeam Fusion. This is the program that we use to make games at Impact Gamers, and we use it because it's so easy and quick to make games. We do learn about coding, we learn about principles of coding, but we don't get bogged down in all of the little writing, the syntax. Syntax is totally... let's make it happen. Syntax is the correct order that things should be put in, and computers are really a stickler for that. You need to say exactly the right thing in exactly the right way, and the great thing about ClickTeam Fusion is it fills in so much of the blanks for you to write the code that it's difficult to get things wrong, but we still manage it. So let's see. We're making a game here, and we're supported by the Pairs Community Grant, and they want to get young people like you to start thinking about how to express the way you're feeling, your thoughts, your ideas in a creative way. And so we use game making for that. Today we're looking at the second part of 3 parts about judging others, about prejudice, about making a decision about someone or something before you actually understand them or try it. So, I've not done anything since the last session apart from introduce this wonderful smiley face. Oh, it's so smiley. Okay, and I've called it answer because we need to give a representation. We need to show the players if they've done something right. So I've done a smiley face. I'm also going to make a sad face. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this frame. Now this is an animation frame, and just copy right at the bottom there, and I just right clicked to get that. And an animation frame, when they're played after each other, they form an animation, a movement. Okay, I've got different choices how I can change this face. I could just put a second frame in. I could go down to the bottom and right click in this. Oh, you can't see, I'm in the way. Wait a minute. Let me just really push. Oh no, I need to push the other way. I need to push. Right, okay. At the very bottom of this animation list down here, there's a blank space. Now, hidden beneath it, who knew? If you right click, you can create a new animation. So I'm going to say wrong. So I've got an animation for wrong. And I'm going to paste, right click and paste my frame in there. And you can see I've got 2 frames. Don't want that one. I'm just going to press delete on the keyboard. And yes, I am sure I want to delete it. This smiley face, I'm going to make it look sad. So we're going to maybe go blue for sad. Blue, sort of feeling blue, feeling sad. Still looks very happy. So I'm going to turn that frown upside down by using the flip. Oh, look amazingly sad. And maybe even super sad. What we're going to do is maybe introduce some eyebrows of some frowning. So, bigger size, please. Oh, look how sad. Look at that, if you make a mistake. So in this game, we've got each of these chests are moving. Now they're moving in a certain pattern, and the pattern is laid out in this list, just a list, like an order of things to do. Up, down, left, right is the first one, and that's what we're looking for. But then we've got left, down, up, down, right, blah, 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 and etc., etc. Now at the moment, all the red boxes are going to follow this correct pattern, this list to 0 pattern. But this box, in its values, we've got it set that we're going to have it follow movement type 1. Now movement type 1 means that it will load if movement type is 1. It's going to load from... Oh, I've lost the icons there. Oh, because it... Who knew that? Well, that's annoying. That's not even my fault. But in terms of it, what it's done is when I've loaded up my list, it's redrawn the icon for me. But I'm just going to click on Properties, Icon, Edit, and I will fix this bug for us. So let's put down a number 1 for list 1. And there we go. And now we can see that number, red number 1, just up there. Just up there. There it is. Is there, and then list 0, I'll quickly do that again in the... Oh, don't need help. Well, I probably do. I need TJ back. That's what I need. We will still have a chocolate challenge question today, but I will check the comment after the show, and you'll have to put down what you've thought, and I will let you know at the end of the show if you have won some intense orange. Look at that. There we go. And chocolate sending out. It does take about 2 weeks for your chocolate to arrive. And if it doesn't arrive and your postman looks overweight, he's probably eaten it. So there we go. The yellow box has got is following list 1. All of the red boxes, they're all following movement type 0. So there we go. So now if we have a quick look, if we follow these, they're going up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right, and they're not doing it at the same time as each other because we want to make this hard. Up, down, left, right. Whereas the yellow box is down, right, up, down, right, up, down, right, up, down, right, up. Should it go left? Left, up, down, right. This is going to be a pain. It's going to be a pain. It's just redrawn over it. It's redrawn over it. But it says it hasn't. But it has. It lies. Lies, I tell you. There you go. It's back. So, movement type is 1. That next move is 1. Add 1 to movement number. All of those rules there look correct. And when do we reset them? If the movement direction is nothing, set back movement number to 1. Here we go. I have found this bug. There it is. There it goes. I have found this bug. When we get to the end of a list, there's nothing there. It goes up, down, left, right, or left, down, right, up, and it gets to nothing. And we know that when the box reads nothing, it's got to the end of the list. That's fine. Or it's the start of the game. Either way, it can go back to the beginning of the list. So we need to say that it depends on its movement type which list it reloads from. So that's loading from list 0, and that icon that we drew, that 0, just that red circle, helped me solve that bug. So I can say that that bug is fixed. And I'm just going to copy and paste, Control C and Control V at the same time. Control is the CTRL button in the corner of your keyboard. And there we go, movements 1, 2, 3, and just change these to 1, 2, 3. So, how are you this sunny, fine morning? Do comment amongst yourselves. I'm not in the comment world. I'm sorry. I'm live, but I can't respond to you live, and I'm sorry about that. But do let me know how you are doing. If you like the hot weather, if you don't, and from TJ's point of view, I think he doesn't like the hot weather. He gets burnt really easily. He has to sun cream up with like factor 1000, and go out in a astronaut suit and stuff like that when it's above 20 degrees. So he doesn't like it. It's not true, but he doesn't like it too hot. So him feeling unwell on a hot day must be absolutely rubbish for him. Let's see if we have squished this bug totally once and for all, and follow this box. Go in left. That's good. It's a good sign. Down, up, right. Yes, good. Okay. So we're going to do a new condition. And the new condition is that if we choose a box that is that's right, then we get the happy face. So I'm just going to set into our frame, I'm going to set what the right answer is. So I'm going to insert a new object, and it's going to be a data type object, a counter. So it's there in all objects, just there, a counter. Now a counter is just numbers. Now it's the same as a variable, which is numbers, alterable value, which is numbers. It's just a number. It's a visible number, but I can turn that off. I can choose in its properties. I think I can choose that it's hidden, and and then it doesn't matter where it is in the game, it is there. So initial value 0, that's fine, I'm happy with that. 0 is going to be the right answer because we have list 0, which is the answer that we're looking for in the program. So let's go here and say new condition, that if the mouse clicks on an object, just a single click, just a tappy tap on one of the boxes, and if the box, if its ultra value, if its movement type is equal to the counter's movement type, which we didn't give a name, just called it counter, which is rubbish. Let's call it answer value, and then we just change the face from answer to answer icon. Oh, TJ, you come back! Amazing! Hello, TJ. What do you have to say? Exactly, and that's a very good point, and something you should all remember to do. TJ, I've got a quick question. TJ, have you?
Hello.
Hello. Have you thought of the chocolate challenge question where someone could win an arrow in test? Okay. Yeah. Okay, TJ, calm down there. So, how did you become so adamant all of a sudden? This is amazing. Remember, TJ, we're doing about judging other people. And do you have a question? Last session, the question was about why you think we judge other people. Do you have a question about judging others or prejudice? Do you want to have a little think about that? Okay, and TJ will come back with a chocolate challenge question in the next 2 minutes, hopefully. Or hopefully not. Depends on your view of that puppeteering. Okay, if the movement type matches, that's correct. So we want to create a new object, and we want to create this smiley face, and we'll create it at the center point of wherever, relative to the object. So relative to, we'll base it on the center point of that object, and that's fine. So it'll create a smiley face. So if we just try that out, it's not perfect, it's not finished yet, but let's just try that out. If I click on one of the red boxes, just close the debug window, happy face, happy face, happy face, happy face, happy face. Click on the yellow box, yep, no happy face there. Okay, good. Now, the way that they're moving, it means that the yellow face is quite hard to relate to where it is. So maybe we need to get the yellow face to be dependent. So maybe we need to just find out where the box is. If it's on the, oh, this is a bit sloppy, but anyway, if you click on it and the box is already up, then create the yellow face, but we're going to go down by 32 pixels, which is the height of the box movement. Let's copy and paste, and if it's down, let's put a D for that. Oh, syntax error. If you remember before, all strings need to have these inverted commas, the shift and 2 button between them, so it knows it's a word and you're not talking about a different variable. Okay, so down, left, right, up, down, left, right. And that's the order that I remember them in. Not that there's too many to remember. Up, down, left, right, and if it's gone down, then we'll lift it up by 32 pixels, so a minus, because Click Team Fusion has the origin, the center point, the O, the 0, in the top left corner. And then left, there we go, we want to move it, if it's gone left, then we want to move it back by 32, and then if it's right, we want to move it left by 32, which is, oh, have I done that one? It's gone right. If it's gone to its right, then we need to move it that way, so we need to minus from it. I think I did that the wrong way around. So if it's gone left, we need to plus to it. Well done if you spotted that problem. There we go. And now if we run our application, we can see that when we create them, they should move around where the smiley faces are, up, down, left, right. Good. Although we can see that their center point is slightly off. Is that the hotspot here? TJ never made a hot. No, that's fine. Is it the hotspot of the box not being in the center? Probably is. Yep. There we go. Off by a couple of pixels, but you really notice it. So there we go. Let's move it back down there. So I don't know if TJ the Tiger has thought of a question to ask all you watchers out there about prejudice. He's still thinking, but come over when you're ready, TJ. Right, and this is moving the last of the hotspots of the boxes. And this is why it's a really good idea that if you set up your all your rules for your game before adding extra elements. If I'd done it all for one box before creating the other boxes, then it would have saved a lot of time, because when you clone something, it copies all of the variables, it copies all of the movement types, it copies all of those things. Oh, guess who's here? Okay.
Oh, my chocolate challenge question.
Yes, what is your chocolate challenge question?
Why do people judge other people?
Yeah, that's the one we had. Why do you think?
It was a very good question.
It was. So you want to have the same question, do you? That 2 minutes of thinking led you to just the example what I gave you of what we did on Monday.
TJ Tigers have very bad memories.
TJ Tiger, if you want to have a deeper think and come back, that would be great. Keep people watching to the end, maybe. We'll see. Right. Sorry, so that isn't the chocolate challenge question. That was the one from Monday. But so we've had discussion of why people are prejudiced. But maybe you want to have a question about something, not just people, sort of like maybe. Here's an example if people are prejudiced against any types of food and why. I don't like eating hummus because I got food poisoning after trying hummus for the first time. So I'm now prejudiced towards it, against it. So there we go. Do you want that to be the question, TJ Tiger? TJ Tiger's nodding over there. Okay, chocolate challenge question. Okay, with food, are you prejudiced against any food? Like if there's something on your pizza. Yes, thanks, Tiger. If there's something on your pizza and you're like, I'm not touching any of that pizza. I think my daughter's she was prejudiced towards mould. One bit of mould on a piece of cheese, the whole cheese had to go. Now I think she's realised that she likes cheese so much that she'll only just cut off that bit of mould and eat the rest. But yes, so prejudice against mould, which is probably a good thing in honesty. And then prejudice against hummus. So is there any food that you're prejudiced against and that will put you off your whole meal? Good. And when I say whole meal, I'm not talking about bread. I'm just talking about the whole meal. So unless you're prejudiced against bread, got issues with gluten or something, I don't know. So that's if the value of the box keep up is equal to the answer. Now, if I copy all of these rules and say that the value of the box is different, so I double click on the equal sign and I can choose different. Okay, and you get these greater than or less than sign there. And that sign is just used in maths to show that something is less than or something is bigger than, which just means it's not the same. And programming, we also use that when we compare words and strings together. So when we can say that they're not equal, or sometimes we use different in there. So not equal is an exclamation mark and then an equal sign. So not equal, and this is the different sign. Okay, if it's different, we want to create the mask, but then we want to change the animation of the little face. Animation, we want to change it. Do you remember at the beginning we set up wrong? So let's just copy that down. And because it will create it first, if we have a look at the order, it creates it, then changes the animation, then that's the right way to do it. It knows which face. It won't change all the faces, it'll just change that one. Now, I'm not certain this will work straight away. I'm going to click on a red box to get a smiley face, and then I'm going to click on the yellow box, and I got a sad face, then a smiley face. Did you see that happen? Did you see that happen? Wow. If the frame rate's high enough, maybe you did. It's because this animation, called wrong, at the very bottom down here, in direction options, which are really just animation options, we haven't said it loops. So it just it will just stay the same. Not stay the same. It won't stay the same. It won't loop. It will just go back to being stopped. So let's do that. And I'm just going to, this little guy here, I'm going to turn off the created at start rule. In runtime options, yeah, it's not created at the start. So it won't exist there. We won't need to worry about moving it out of the way. So there we go. Happy face, happy face, happy face, sad face. There we go. Right. Good. We can start on a scoring system soon. The excitement! Whoa. And the other issue that we have is that if we have a look at, did I close the debug? Yeah, I did. Let's not. The debug window lets us see how the game's running, what it's thinking. We've got 15 objects currently. Okay, count them. 15. Every time I click, I'll create a face. So if I click here, 16 objects. And if I click on the box again, 18, 19, and I can kind of spam the game out because I haven't actually set any limits. You can't see the faces because they're on top of each other. But, you know, I'm now on 36 objects using 34 megabytes of memory. You know, it's a waste. It's a waste, I tell you. So we'll go back to the event editor and we will put in the boxes. For the boxes, I'm just going to hold shift down as I click on them so that I can get all the boxes at once. So I've selected all the boxes. We're going to give it a flag. and we will have chosen. There we go. Now that means that we can check to see if they're chosen. So if we click on a box and insert that the box, the flag is off, chosen. So it starts off being off, and I'll just copy that down. That means that it will only do it if it's not been chosen. So what we need to do is just make it chosen. So under here, it knows we're talking about this box because we've referred to a user clicks on one. And as long as we only click on one at a time, as long as they don't overlap, this rule should be fine. We're going to say flags, not set off. Let's do it up here so you can see flags, set on. Ugh. Let's try again. Flags, set on, thank you. Chosen. There we go. Set it on to chosen, set it on to chosen, set it on to chosen. Seems like a bit of a waste doing it that many times, but it's because I didn't bother about the moving of the face, which meant that I did 4 rules instead of 1, which is probably a bad idea. Anyway, if I leave the debug window running, we've got 15 objects. Great. If I click on them, 16, 17, but no more than 17, it's not going up. Perfect. Good. Now, what we want is when we make a mistake, we're to lose a life. We haven't added lives into many of our games, but it's really traditional to have 3 lives. Not in real life, you only get 1. Please do not go wasting it. Okay, so if we insert a new object, lives, these are not, we did do it on a few early games, but these are not my lives, okay? These represent my lives, but they're not my lives. If I'm going to add to my lives, I add it through the player object. This object here is just to show them. So I think hearts are quite good, really. They're a bit small, so I'm just going to resize them. Tick all those and take it up to 48 pixels. There we go. And then I need to stretch the box. So click once on it, wait a second and click again. So these can be my prejudice hearts, which probably need to be a different... No, I think we can just destroy love. By being prejudiced, that's what we often do. We destroy the opportunity to love and care for things by judging it first. So we'll have it as hearts, which is lives, which is love as well. Great icon to have that. Okay, so if we choose something that's wrong, then we need to, not here, no, not under our lives, but we need to go underneath the player. That shows our lives. And we can make it invisible and we can do all sorts of things like that, but we can't change our lives. This is where the magic happens. Okay, let's do it up there so you can see number of lives. We want to subtract from number of lives 1. I'm just going to pull that down, just that rule there. And for these ones, I'm not going to get any points. This is going to be a non-point based game. It's going to be the fact that you can either complete it or you don't. So if I run my application and I click on this yellow box, boom, I lose a life. Click on the red boxes, my lives are intact. Good, great. Okay, so we've now got it that the yellow box is always the box that's the bad box that isn't behaving like all the others. Now, obviously, behaving like everybody else isn't a good thing. You know, we have our choice to make our own decisions. We shouldn't just copy people because other people are copying the same. But we needed something to be to show the internals. And because in my 1.5 hours I have to make this game, I'm not going to be able to create a whole life for these boxes where they go off to school, where they make friends, where they get married, where they fall in love, where they fall out, where they lose their job, where they get a new job, where they start a life of crime or whatever. You won't be able to see what the box that is like inside, in the same way we can't see what people are like inside, but we are just going to have this as the mechanics of the game. So I'm not saying that if something's different, it's wrong. That's prejudice, and that's what we want to point out is wrong in this game, because we want to trick people in thinking, oh, that's a different color box, it's going to be different, but it's not. You're going to have to watch the movement. So I'm going to make it so that the computer will randomly pick any of these boxes, and just because it's these boxes, I'm going to get rid of these boxes for a moment. I'm going to save my game, Judging Others 2 for week 2, and I'm going to save it one more time after deleting these boxes. So I'm just going to get rid of those. Boop. And Judging Others 2B. I probably should have just turned off created at start. So we will say at the beginning of the game, it picks any random box to be the one that acts the odd way out, rather than it just being box 4. So at the start of the game, So the forgetting where I am. Start of the frame. We want to insert here to add a check. We want to find pick one of these boxes. Pick one at random. Okay, so it's just going to choose one of these. When we apply this rule to the box, it's not going to do them to all of them, but just the one random one it's secretly chosen. We're going to set its ultimate values. We're going to set the ultimate value to 1. Now, to make it a little bit harder, at the start of the frame, I'm going to move this before. Before we do that, we're going to set the ultimate values. The ultimate values, we're going to set their movement type to a random number. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, if I do this, random 4, that's the same as saying up to 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I do random range, I can say between 1 and 4 would be wrong. 0 and 3. That's our lists. We're following the list numbers. That's what I'm aiming for there. List 0, 1, 2, 3. So random 0, 1, 3. It's the same thing as saying random 4. Okay, pick one. And then for its movement type, we want to set it to a different movement type. So I need to think about this logically. I can't just get it to choose a random number because it might not match. But then if it doesn't match, is that okay? Could we have them all behave the same way? And how we know which one is right? We have this answer value here. That's what we need to be using. That's my logic mistake there. That's what I wasn't thinking through properly. That we want to set this, at the start of the frame, we want to set this to be set the counter to be a random number. I'll do random range between 0 and 3. 0, 3 in those brackets are random. That's the function that it uses. Can you see that? Kind of, almost see that. And then what we want to do is then we want to set this to be whatever the answer is. So the current value of that. And because I've done it in that order, if I double click there, I'll get in this event list editor, set it and then set those. If it was this way round, it wouldn't work. So set it to do it in the right order. And then at the start of the frame, pick one of them and set its ultimate value of its movement type to be random range between 0 and 3. It could be the same, it might not be. Ooh, I like that. So one of them is going to behave differently. Now, if we run our application now, I have no idea which is the one that's going to be behaving differently, or if in fact they are differently. So let's watch this one. Up, down, right, left. And that one's that's what? No. Really? That was the odd one out. Up, down, right. Oh yeah, because it's not up, down, right, left. It could be any of them. It could be any of them. I just got so used to. Let me play that again. All right, let me sort this out. Okay, this is going up, right, left, down. And this one's going. I couldn't catch that. This one's going up, right, left, down. That's the same as that one. This one's going down, up, right, left, down. This one's going up. What's it going? Up. Yeah, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Boom! Boom, 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 boom! Yeah! And just to prove myself right, I click on here. Yeah, that was it. Okay. Good. Well, I've done that. So on Friday, hopefully TJ will be able to join me. If not, I'm sure some random tiger/cheetah will turn up. What we need to do is we need to create some multiple levels, get it to get a little bit harder. Maybe we get their movement to be a little bit more sporadic and a bit more random in the order that they change. But also we want to make it so it's a bit more likely to be the yellow one. So we start to get them to build up a prejudice over the levels. And then add in some different colours and mix it all up. And so do remember, my wise word to you is that prejudging other people is actually destroying a chance to be able to love them. So if you're prejudiced, I will not be able to love hummus until I destroy my prejudice for it. And I suppose my way to get prejudice around it is spending a little bit more time around hummus and people who like hummus, finding out a bit more about hummus. And hopefully I'll be able to work through that. So let's see if I can play the intro as our outro, as we often do, and say goodbye.
This is the intro we did for the show.
Goodbye.
We're not musical, as you may know. so we'll keep it just for a bit, as we do have words that kind of fit. If you can, make a better one, send it in, and that'll be fun, because we'll use it, get everyone laughing, because this one is embarrassing. TJ, I thought you could dance at this bit.
No.
TJ, are you dancing?
No, I'm not.
So come along and watch us code, make some stuff, and help you know that not much rhymes with draft will make game for a laugh.
Yeah.